Chapter 9, Technology in English and Language Arts Instruction, by Abby Hafer, Vanessa Medina, and Kira Walker. Abby created the PowerPoint and presented slides 1 through 7. Kira finished part of the lesson plan, created the video, and presented slides 8 through 12. Vanessa finished part of the lesson plan and presented slides 13 to 17. Some major issues in English and language arts instruction. Literacy. The definition of literacy has changed drastically in the United States over the course of its history. Today, literacy is no longer an endpoint to be achieved, but rather a process of continuously learning how to be literate. As new technologies emerge, the nature, expansion, and definition of literacy change. Liu points out that as new technologies emerge, so does the need for new literacy. Therefore, it is critical that students learn how to learn new literacy technologies. This view is supported by the International Reading Association in its Literacy and Technology Position Statement, which reads, traditional definitions of reading, writing, and viewing, and traditional definitions of best practice instruction derive from a long tradition of books and other media in print will be insufficient. Motivating students. Teachers find it an ongoing challenge to motivate students to read, either for study or for pleasure. One of the encouraging findings from the research that is both students and teachers are highly motivated and interested in new literacy. Teachers are turning to the interactive and visual qualities of software and websites to increase motivation for reading and writing. Also, computer-based tracking systems, like Accelerated Reader, are designed especially to increase the amount of reading and writing students do for enjoyment. Teachers find it an ongoing challenge to motivate students to express themselves in writing. Students don't like to revise research papers and compositions. In addition to word processing, which has been in use for many years, a variety of technology tools and strategies have emerged to spur students' desires to write. Also, to improve the quality of their written products, like email projects and blogs, and to provide authentic publication sources. According to the English Language Arts Standards, technology not only enhances students' motivation to write, but also encourages them to assume greater responsibility for their own learning. Working with diverse learners. Schools have more diverse student populations today than they ever have before. Although we value and celebrate the opportunity to interact with students of different nationalities, races, and ethnicities, this creates all kinds of new challenges for English teachers and language arts teachers. This is especially true for teachers working with ESL or ELL students, also struggling readers. Often, students who experience literacy problems at a young age continue to have reading problems throughout their schooling. Students who typically experience this problem include children who begin school without a solid literacy foundation, learn English as a second language, live in literacy-impoverished homes, have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or do not receive appropriate instruction in schools. Because many students need additional instruction in literacy, appropriate use of technology, things like audiobooks, websites, and software, can support their growth. Luckily, numerous internet resources are available to help teachers with struggling readers. For example, starfalls.com.
Technology integration strategies. One of these include literacy development. Among this can be interactive storybooks, which allow for greater comprehension than traditional reading would, writing in blogs, which motivate students to write through the active participation and feedback from others, and network literacy projects, which spark an interest in writing and reading. These strategies all motivate students to read and write. Teachers are able to integrate these in any kind of lesson. Special technology editions are also available for students with disabilities, enhancing the LLL students with their English development. There's also the writing process. Teachers often integrate technology into their writing activities because it motivates students to write to their best abilities. Concept mapping software is an easy and relatively familiar tool for pre-writing and planning. It helps students organize their thoughts and ideas while brainstorming. Electronic publishing is helpful because it allows students to share their work with their peers, and it can help them connect to other students. That's how they make friends. An overview of our lesson plan. Pretty much, students will create letters using email, and these are sent to students in different classes that they have not met. They'll be required to write one letter a week, and each week will be a different theme, and there will be different criteria for each of the letters each new week. And through this lesson plan, students will demonstrate creative thinking, construct knowledge, and develop innovative procedures and processes using technology. Introduction to Technology Integrated Lesson Plan. We said, wouldn't it be fun to get to know someone new? Let's do it virtually. The procedure of Technology Integrated Lesson Plan includes the introduction, which is where we'll ask the students what they talk about with their friends on a daily basis. And then next we'll have them write a page about themselves using pencil and paper. And in the page they'll talk about the things that they like to do, where they're from, what they do on the weekend, what kind of movies they like to see, etc. And then we'll introduce them to email. We'll ask if anyone knows how to use an email. We'll have them set up an email account, and we'll do this step by step as a whole class, and I'll walk around to help each student. And then once they have an email account, we'll have them type up their page that they had written on pencil and paper. And then, as the teacher, we're going to be collaborating with the students and help them send the email to their Penpals. And they should be repeated on a weekly basis throughout the year. Follow-up of Technology Integrated Lesson Plan. Each week, a new step of the writing process will be introduced. The emails to Penpals should be centered around these steps. These emails will build the process from week to week. Not only will students learn steps of the writing process, but they will also be making new friends and learning to use email.
The materials needed for this activity are basic. You need a pencil, paper, so the students can jot down and organize the ideas for the letters. You also need a computer with internet access and an email account, so the letters can be sent through the email. Several accommodations could be made for the students who need it. First, there are alternative keyboards available for those students with sight disabilities. Assistants could also be available in the room so they can discuss thoughts about their letters with the students if they're struggling and encourage their ideas. This helps the students with the writing process and creating these letters. Also, students who need extra help could be given more time to complete the assignment. There are two parts for assessing the activity, one during the writing and the second after the writing. First, for assessing it during the writing, make sure to check the students for understanding. There are several guidelines provided to the students that they had to follow and a specific theme. Make sure that the students understand the theme and understand what they have to write about. Second, for after the writing, the students will have knowledge of writing letters and being able to send it through an email. Finally, make sure they followed all the guidelines presented for creating their letters. After this activity was completed, the students enjoyed it very much. They were engaging in their letters and enjoyed writing to students they didn't know. This activity helped with motivating students to write because it created a fun activity for them to do. They also followed the criteria very well and were very anxious to read the responses and write back. For the lesson plan, the guidelines could have been more structured. Also, email needs to be carefully monitored because the internet allows access to many different things and the students could get sidetracked. So make sure you monitor what the students are doing and their email. In conclusion, there are many issues that associated with technology and English and language arts. such as the lack of technology literacy and not getting students excited about technology, and these need to be resolved. There are many new technologies available for students and teachers that address these issues and help students learn and adapt in a new English and language arts skills. Our lesson is designated to help students integrate technology into their English and writing skills and to continue using this technology. Our lesson was created a fun, creative way for students to learn and motivate them to enjoy writing. Thank you.